Imagine being a beta male cuck to the point to where you call yourself making a video claiming Mgtow is cowardice, and the vast majority of the men as well as Mgtows themselves hurt your feelings in your own comment section, complete embarrasses the beta male cuck so bad that he decided to turn right back around and make a cry baby response. And which, let's just say this right here. Even in the real world, you go around calling people cowards, you're just asking for trouble. But as one of the comments said in this last video, and yes, I do agree, the internet got these weak beta male cucks way too comfortable saying things that they will not say out in the real world. I do agree. But yeah, they hurt his feelings so bad that he decided to make a crybaby response video because the vast majority of people in the comments hurt his poor widow feelings. But 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 before we get this beta male cuck to smoke, yep, it's me again. He hates us. This is why he has a crybaby response video giving a fuck about us at the same time. I am your host, JD Miles. The Mgtow he loves to hate. The Mgtows he loves to hate. Even the ones like him who wants to jump up and say everybody loves to hate him, loves to hate Mgtow at the same time as always. This is why he got us relevant to this very day. And I'm back again. And I'm back again with the smoke. So the beta male cuck still begging for our attention. Let's give it to him. I'm feeling good I'm feeling good tonight. Let's get started.
Chronically online kid. But he set out to change that. He has abandoned his Roblox girlfriend and he's going to find one in real life. And he knows just who. He's going to go up to Jane, his real life crush, and ask her for her number. Fast forward to not that long afterward, and Timmy is in the principal's office, getting the school equivalent of Mgtow. Timmy is upset and embarrassed and all of these feelings, but more than anything, he's confused and fed up. This is not the first time it's happened. Before Jane, there was Shirley, and there was Lindsay, and there was half of the other girls in the school that he went up to, and if he didn't get basically Mgtowed and doxxed, at the very least, he got rejected very...
At this point, okay, the question must be asked. Because this beta male cuck is trying to give us this retarded fuck-ass story about Timmy. Is Timmy a real life person? Or is Timmy a made-up fictional character this beta male cuck created? Let's continue.
Strongly, he wants to know what's going on. And since Timmy's chronically online, how does he look for the answers? He goes online again. At this moment, Timmy is faced with a choice. He can truly search for answers by searching through boring articles, by reading about actual female psychology and his own male psychology,
And why would Timmy wants to look up female psychology? What, is Timmy a woman? That don't make no sense, you beta male cuck. Let's continue.
What in himself might be driving women away, learning about the cultural aspects that are around through healthy, normal means. You might look at some Jordan Peterson. There are normal, slightly less entertaining ways you could look about this. But Timmy's not going to do that. Timmy is a chronically online 12-year-old, and his attention span is 5 seconds.
What?
You know where he goes?
What? So Timmy is a 12-year-old boy who acts like he's over the age of 18. What 12-year-old boy goes around asking for girls' numbers as if he's gonna take them out on a date at the age of 12. I mean, and you could tell this is his version of his own little story here. Let's continue.
Before he knows it, Timmy has spent hours and hours scrolling through Red Pill YouTube, Red Pill TikTok, all these different Red Pill social media pages.
And this is how you know this beta male cuck is full of shit. Red pill TikTok? But wait a second, hold up. I thought I thought I thought any and all male spaces were banned off of TikTok. That includes red pill. Did we just caught the beta male cuck in a lie? Nope. You can't look up Red Pill, you can't look up Mgtow, nor can you look up the Manosphere on TikTok. They are banned off that social media platform. So where is this Red Pill TikTok? This this beta male cuck got that story from. Let's continue.
He's gone from Andrew to Tristan Tate. He's gone from fitness influencers to guys like Fresh and Fit to strong, successful male and all of these guys. And he's learned everything about the true nature of women.
Now it's funny he brings up Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and Red Pill, but I thought this was supposed to be his crybaby response video about, as you see the title, Mgtow makes men into boys. So where does Andrew Tate nor Fresh and Fit fall into the Mgtow space? Oh, that's right. I forgot this dumb beta male cuck didn't do his research about Mgtow, but he thinks he has Mgtow figured out. But Andrew Tate ain't even in this Mgtow space. Fresh and Fit is not in the Mgtow space. So, and what's more, I believe, as I recall, Andrew Tate is a straight up Mgtow hater. So he just shot himself in the foot just bringing Andrew Tate up in this situation. Let's continue.
From how they manipulate you, to what they're truly attracted to everything in between. You might think stewing in his anger like this and just bombarding himself with all the same messages that he learned at first from society and thought in his head that made him so angry. But no, Timmy feels amazing. Timmy feels empowered. Why?
So according to the beta male cuck, Timmy is angry because the beta male cuck said Timmy is angry. The question has to be asked again. Is Timmy an actual person or a made-up fictional character by the beta male cuck? Let's continue.
What the hell is this? Because now Timmy's failure is no longer his fault. It's the fault of women in general. It's the fault of society. Because now whenever he goes up to a woman and he tries to get her number, it's just he's always going to get rejected. It doesn't matter what community he goes to. It doesn't matter if he goes to a religious community, because it's never even occurred to him that he could go to a religious community, because of course Timmy's an atheist. He spends too much time gooning to pray. So now he...
And now we're going from Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit to religion and atheism. This beta male cuck is certainly going all over the place. Get to the point already. Let's continue.
He'd offload all of his anger, all of his disappointment, all of the frustration that he feels at society and women in general onto them. And think, it's not my fault that I failed with all of these girls. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm still a super duper amazing manly man. It's everybody else's fault. But thinking along these lines is just stewing in your own anger.
And who the hell calls themselves manly men? Your imaginary character Timmy calls himself a manly man? because I don't recall nobody saying in those exact words that, we over here in the Mgtow, the red pill, and the manosphere, we are manly men. He must have pulled that one out the hole of his ass. Let's continue.
Does make Timmy feel good. While it does make him feel empowered and like he's learning things, it also stirs up his own anger and resentment. He needs a way to let it out because he's an immature, chronically online 12-year-old. How is he going to do this? And the answer to that is promiscuity. Because setting aside his lustful instincts to really leave women completely out of his life would require Timmy to display a very high level of self-control and maturity, something that almost nobody in red pill spaces is ever able to show. They show
this coming from the same beta male cuck crying in his comment section, but wants to be the same one to talk about immaturity. And yeah, the dumb beta male cuck is going to continue contradicting himself all throughout this crybaby response video that he made.
How to find success. And what's success? Success is not a long-term relationship. It's not a stable marriage. It's not a bunch of well-raised kids. Success is having many women who all want to have sex with you so that you don't have to set aside your own sexual drive, but you don't have to deal with any of the responsibilities.
Make the retarded fuck-ass logic make sense, you beta male cuck. If Timmy is 12 years old, why is he thinking about sex? In fact, why would any underage little boy be so focused on sex? Can this beta male cuck answer that question? Because so far, I can go ahead and say it. His little story here is full of shit. Let's continue.
The ability that comes along with it, so you can have your cake and eat it too. As well, promiscuity allows a way to, quote-unquote, get back at these women by treating them...
And why the hell would a 12-year-old boy would want to learn promiscuity at such a young age? Again, make the retarded fuck-ass logic make sense there.
Way you want to treat them by destroying her ego, showing your masculine worth, and using all of the other tactics that red pill influencers tell you will make women fall into your arms and line up to screw you one after the other. Timmy can get the control that he wants.
Okay, if there are women out there who are having sex with 12-year-olds, I find that shit suspect. So according to the beta male cuck, 12-year-olds is having intimacy with grown women. God damn it! You can't make this shit up! Okay, we definitely need to look inside this beta male cuck's hard drive. Because apparently, I think he gets off on this shit if he's making such a big deal about it. Let's continue.
Over women because he's resentful of them, and the sex that he wants from them because it's just a natural physical instinct that he doesn't have enough self.
And there he goes again, claiming a 12-year-old boy wants to have sex with a woman. Does this beta male cuck hear himself talk? Apparently not. Apparently not, because right now, he shot himself in the foot so many times. And this is the same beta male cuck in his feelings over the fact that the vast majority of people in his comments didn't agree with him in his last video. And now we all can see why. Let's continue.
Control that, he brags about having discipline because he works out, but he doesn't actually have the self-control to master those instincts, but without the risks of being manipulated and being hurt, and without having to deal with his own internal fear of those things in order to do it. He doesn't have to actually compromise with somebody long-term and build a...
And for the record, And for the record, in case this beta male cuck has been living under the rock, on the outside, looking in, thinking he has everything figured out, one thing he needs to understand is kids are not allowed in these men's spaces. Little boys are not allowed in these men's spaces, especially Mgtow. So where is he getting this retarded fuck ass logic from? Let's continue.
Plan for a stable future relationship, and thus none of these ladies have any opportunity to trap him, to screw him over in the divorce courts, which he's hearing from all these red pill influencers happens in every single marriage. It never really ever works out.
So now 12-year-olds can get married now. So we got 12-year-old Timmy, who's all about promiscuity, who will be intimate with women, with grown women, and is now thinking about marriage and divorce. I don't even think his foot is now recognizable anymore with all those bullet holes. Let's continue.
So he can get everything that he wants from women, at least in the short term, without having to confront his own fears and insecurities. But you might think this can't last forever, because Timmy is no longer an immature 12-year-old. Timmy is an immature 27-year-old. He's been watching Red Pill for most of his life at this point. He's slept with a bunch of women. How successful he is. He has a...
So Timmy is now a 27-year-old, and he's able to sleep with so many women. Sounds like this beta male cuck is jealous of Timmy now. Let's continue.
Side gig on the side of his McDonald's job, but his parents want him to look for a life. His parents want him to settle down, maybe have a few kids or something like that, which might be taken away from him.
God damn, what the fuck was with that face? But guess what, you beta male cuck? Timmy is his own man. 27-year-old Timmy is his own man. He gets to make, and by him being a grown adult, he gets to make his own decisions, whether you agree with it or not. You can't tell Timmy how to live his life, neither can his parents. And no, his parents don't have to agree with his choices, but what can they do? What can they do? Put his grown ass on his lap and spank him and tell him to do what they want him to do? No. Timmy is an adult. Therefore, wherever Timmy wants to do, he can. And he doesn't have to answer to his parents, nor beta male cucks like this clown. Let's continue.
In the divorce court that every single couple goes to at some point, even though it's actually only like 50%, and that's among secular marriages. But Timmy doesn't have time for statistics because math is something.
And notice something else too. He wants to talk about marriages and divorces, but if you look at his hand. If you look at his hands, especially the hand he's waving around, notice that he does not have a wedding band. But wait, if he doesn't have a wedding band, that means he's not married himself. And if he's not married, who is he to lecture anyone about marriage and divorces? I swear, the jokes write themselves here. Let's continue.
That the Matrix forces on you to mind control you. So he doesn't have any clue that if he goes to a religious community, he actually has pretty decent chances of finding a stable and loving wife. But he doesn't even really care, because you might think that filial piety and societal responsibility would eventually force him into actually finding a stable marriage, actually settling down. But nope, this all ties back to the biggest attracting power of red pill content, Mgtow content, because it frees the viewer from any and all responsibility to society, responsibility to their parents who want them to settle down, responsibility to a spouse and to kids who are dependent on them for years of their life. Mgtow gives the
And what responsibility is that? Timmy does not owe nobody a goddamn thing. He damn sure don't owe beta male cucks like this clown an explanation. If Timmy wants to go his own way, live a life of peace and quiet, live the life to better himself and improve himself, that's Timmy's decision, not the beta male cuck's decision, not his parents' decision, not society's decision, or anyone else's decision. Timmy don't owe you a goddamn explanation. Let's continue.
ultimate excuse for not entering into any sort of long-term compromise with other people, where you may have to occasionally set aside your own interest, your own ego, the things that you want to currently do in order to sustain a family, in order to build a future, in order to make your parents proud and so that they can die knowing that they have grandkids. By saying that it is impossible, by saying that it's not something that men can get these days, which is the easiest cop-out on earth.
And you know what else is a cop-out? Retarded fuck-ass beta male cucks putting words in other people's mouths. And then try to make it seem like, oh, this is exactly what they are saying. And rather, why does it sound like this beta male cuck is telling men not to build themselves up, not to better themselves, not to improve themselves, but rather be a fucking doormat. No, according to this beta male cuck, he expects from men, especially young men, to be doormats. And and through all of that, he expects these men to get in long-term relationships, get married, have children, have a family. I swear to God. I don't even think he even understands the words that are coming out of his mouth. Let's continue.
How do people avoid studying math when they don't want to study math? I'm bad at math. I'm just going to get a D at math. How do people avoid getting in shape? I just have bad genes. I'm just always going to be fat. It is impossible is everyone's favorite excuse. And Timmy is using it as well now because he doesn't want to have to look for a wife. He doesn't want to have to challenge the Mgtow beliefs that he's built over the course of his life. He doesn't want to have to compromise across years, across decades for the greater good.
And Timmy doesn't have to follow what the fuck you have to say. And by the way the wording is put together, it sounds like this beta male cuck wants Timmy to be his slave. It sounds like, that's exactly how it sounds like. The beta male cuck wants to control Timmy's life. Tell him what he should do, what he should not do, like Timmy is his goddamn child. The more this beta male talks, the more he continues to embarrass himself. But let's continue.
Requires maturity. So sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who would be Timmy's mother and father, but your son doesn't have any responsibility to you, and he does not have any responsibility to society. He is living for himself. Which is another way that Mgtow enables immaturity. because there is no responsibility to live with anybody else in mind. Your parents don't matter because your dad's a simp and a cuck, and your mom is turning him into a simp and a cuck. So none of them are actually good people.
So he becomes a Mgtow because his father is a simp and a cuck, and his mother is making him that way. And this is coming from a simp and a simp, a beta male, and a cuck. I just can't with this. I just can't with this fool. Let's continue.
You can ignore them. You don't have to live for a woman, which, I mean, you shouldn't live with women being your whole goal in life, but you don't have to actually dedicate yourself to a wife or to having kids or to anything like that. You're living for yourself. You're improving.
Okay, now we get to the point where he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Okay, if he does not have to depend on a wife, he's living to improve himself. Then why is you crying, bitching, complaining when Timmy is actually doing that? First, you make it sound like it's a bad thing. Now you're trying to make it sound like it's all good and gravy. And and they wonder why people say they talk out of both sides of their mouth. Let's continue.
Yourself and you're advancing your own goals. This makes you seem cooler to all of the other Mgtow and Red Pill bros that you see online, makes you more like the guys like Andrew Tate that you admire, and most importantly, offer.
Now, did this stupid beta male cuck just put Andrew Tate in the same sentence as Mgtow? Need a reminder. Need a reminder. Andrew Tate has no part in Mgtow. In fact, Andrew Tate is a Mgtow hater, just like this beta male cuck. But hearing from this clown, he wants to put Andrew Tate in the same boat as Mgtow. And this is what happens. And this is what happens when idiots fail to do their research before speaking on matters they have no clue. Zero clue of what they talk about. Let's continue.
You freedom from having to sit down and, like an adult, sometimes compromise your own desires for the good of other people, or because not every single one of your desires is going to be achievable. Something that everybody needs to come to grips with in order to become an adult, but not if you're on Red Pill and Mgtow and all of this kind.
That's Rich. She wants to talk about what is an adult, coming from the same retarded fuck who made a video trying to call Mgtow cowardice. Oh, that's him being an adult, right? Or how about this? So according to the beta male cuck, these men, especially young men, should give up their ambitions, their careers. They should not improve themselves or better themselves to get to a higher level, but instead, as I stated before, they should be doormats for other people in society. And this is why nobody's taking this beta male cuck seriously. He wants these men to be a straight up doormat, is what he's saying. Let's continue.
Kind of content which sells you the dream of that you can focus only on yourself, and if you put in enough hard work and call enough people betas in order to prove yourself as an alpha, you can do anything you want without having to respond to anybody. So
why? Because everybody in the comment section is calling you a beta. Yeah, we can see Yeah, we can see the butthurt on your face about that. And the fact that he had to respond to that clearly shows his feelings are definitely hurt by everybody calling his sorry ass a beta. Let's continue.
Timmy is thinking along these lines, and he's just going about his life, living his days. Well, living is a strong word. Lurking his days in his parents' basement, gooning and watching red pill content when he encounters the first serious problem in his Mgtow journey.
So just because Timmy is a Mgtow, that automatically means that he's lurking in his parents' basement and ain't doing nothing for himself. So basically, Timmy is failing at Mgtow. I thought Mgtow is about bettering oneself. Timmy is not going to better himself living in his parents' basement. Again, the contradictions sell themselves. And before this Bay Mel Cuck try to sit there and say, oh, try to sit there and try to make that notion, if you're a Mgtow, you automatically live in your parents' basements. Let me go ahead and debunk that retarded fuck ass logic right there. You see, I'm a Mgtow, but guess what? My parents live in Louisiana. Meanwhile, I live out here in Colorado. So no, you don't speak for me as a Mgtow, and you damn sure don't speak for all Mgtows as a whole. The only person you're speaking about is your imaginary character. Let's continue.
His dad knocks on the door. Come in, says Timmy. Are the tater tots and the taquitos ready?
Well, son, I do have your microwave food here, says his father. But there's something we need to talk about. Son, your mother and I are worried about you. You haven't left this basement for 5 days. You smell like crap, and more importantly, I don't know about all this Mgtow stuff you're into. You know, your mother and I, we'd really like you to have a kid or two, a wife, come along with them. You know, that's generally the normal way things go.
And while he's saying all this retarded fuck shit, where's his wife at? Oops. And once again, if Timmy was truly a Mgtow, he wouldn't even be in his parents' basement to begin with, because Timmy will be out there improving himself, getting his money up, staying in that gym working out, getting his health in order. Work out there working jobs, making enough money and get enough experience to start his own business. Shit. And with everything Timmy is doing as a Mgtow, he could get to travel, see many places. And let me go ahead and say this right here. If you are living in your mouth, if you still live in your parents' basements, then I'm gonna go ahead and say this: you fail as a Mgtow. But what does this beta male cuck know? Well, let's continue.
Maybe a job. I mean, I know that would involve a boss, and you don't really like that. But let's be honest, you're never starting a business, so please.
Now Timmy has another choice to make. The first option that he has is to actually directly engage with what his father is saying, to take the points that his father is making seriously, and to actually sit down and think, is this the path my life should really be on?
The real question is, would Timmy even be in that situation at all? In fact, if Timmy was a Mgtow, then why would he be told that all those things are important when Timmy should have that understanding already? But what does this dumb beta male Cuck know besides what he believes is what Mgtow is all about? Let's continue.
Even if he's convinced that it is, to sit down and actually consider it and talk it through with his father and maybe come to some sort of grown-up compromise over the matter. But that would require Timmy to be an adult. So he whips out the good old red pill thesaurus. Mgtow arms young men with an entire lexicon of terms that they can use to refer to other people that basically people only use within their own circles, and a lot of people outside of them only have just now come to understand because of how often they've been used by people in Mgtow and red pill circles, and even then only really use them in a joking way. Terms such as simp,
like you,
Cuck, a lot of insults, 304 for women, and these labels can be applied to any person, such as Timmy's dad, who professes beliefs that you don't agree with, who had
more like it's applied to the ones that are deeply affected. And the fact that the beta male Cuck is whining and crying over the matter clearly shows that those words clearly applies to him. And to be honest, I highly doubt the beta male Cuck even knows what a 304 is. Out the gate. And for the record, what makes this dumb beta male Cuck think that simp, cuck, beta, and all those words is not being used outside of the Mgtow space? In fact, how does he know those words are not used outside of red pill or the manosphere space? Because I've seen a whole lot of people who are not Mgtow, who are not red pill, and are definitely not manosphere use those same exact words. So in conclusion, those words are not just limited to none of the men's spaces here on YouTube or on social media. So what the fuck is this beta male Cuck talking about? Let's continue.
As a perspective that you see as weak or as woke or as some other word starting in W. And this frees you from the responsibility to actually engage with the points that any other human being makes.
Don't talk about engaging with points. When we all could clearly see your responses to your comments, to everybody's comments. In fact, this beta male Cuck spent the last 3 days crying, bitching, and complaining about the comments that don't kiss his ass. So I highly doubt he's in any position at all to try to lecture anybody about conversations. But let's watch him shoot himself again in the foot.
At least if they're points you don't like. Because you can just slander them with all of these different terms. And a point that's made by a weak, simpy, obese, beta Cuck 304 blah 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 doesn't have any merit. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to take it seriously. This frees you from the responsibility.
And there you go. He just shot himself in the foot again. Oh, you don't have to listen to it. Then with that same retarded fuck ass logic, he wouldn't have to be standing in front of his camera crying, bitching, and complaining about Mgtow. Remember, you beta male Cuck, you don't have to watch Mgtow content. You don't have to listen to Mgtow content. And it's funny he cries about insults, but this is the same beta male Cuck, if he needs a reminder, was the same one calling Mgtow's cowardice. And the most cowardly thing of all, he thought he could call Mgtow cowardice and thought no one was going to respond to his weak ass. Until everybody started responding, and now he couldn't take it. God damn it, you can't make this shit up. Let's continue.
Ability to take anybody that you don't want to hear seriously and actually engage with them like an intellectual adult. And so he
Engage with them intellectually, says the retarded fuck ass beta male sim calling people cowards. Oh, yeah, going around calling people cowards is the best way to have an intellectual conversation. Going at people or groups such as Mgtow, calling them cowards and stuff, is the best way to have an intellectual conversation. But then again, this is the same beta male cuck who thinks shaming and ad hominem attacks is an opinion. Shaming and ad hominem attacks is an intellectual conversation. And at this point, I don't think we want to hear any more of what this retarded fuck ass beta male cuck has to say. Because it's already apparent. He don't know shit about Mgtow. He constantly contradicts himself with all his claims, and now it's just a video of him just whining and crying, all because everybody told him about himself when it comes to Mgtow. And with that, I said what I had to say. I'm done with the whiny beta male, all up in his feelings and emotions because he thought he had Mgtow figured out, when in reality, he just made a complete ass out of himself. And I'm out this bitch. Later.